So Stephen, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Absolutely, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. As you know, you have a lot of friends in Brazil, so we're very excited to have this opportunity. So as a veteran in this industry, how do you feel about an award like this?
Well, I think it's very, very important for a couple of reasons. For one thing, it's a pretty good amount of money. And for people starting out, that can be the difference between not having enough time to write and actually being able to turn down, let's say, some temp jobs and be a writer instead. The recognition, I think, is very helpful both in terms of giving people confidence that they should keep going and, frankly, in having other people notice them. So this is one of the major awards that we have in terms of supporting and encouraging young writers.
Now, you have worked as a judge for this type of award. So how difficult it is for you to spot on who is the most talented out of the group? Because it sounds like a lot of people are trying for this, and it's so amazing talent.
I wouldn't quite put it that way in terms of who is the most talented, because, as you say, many of the people who submit and are being considered are very talented. On the other hand, I have learned over time that talent is rare, and you recognize it when you see it. I think we had an example of that today. The reason that I'm here this evening is because one of this year's recipients, Sam Wilmot, was in my ASCAP workshop. You see the thing that says ASCAP here. We're in the ASCAP building, and I've been for a few years the artistic director of the ASCAP Musical Theater Workshop, and a couple of years ago Sam was in the workshop working on his musical about Roald Dahl, and he's just enormously talented and was very clear right away. So when he won, I was thrilled for him and just wanted to come and congratulate him and support him.
Now, you give a lot of workshop, master classes, so you see a lot of people who are trying out to start in this career. What would be your advice for someone who's starting out or is, already trying, not just starting right now, but is already in the industry in the beginning of their careers, for them to be successful in this industry?
Well, I think it's important to write things and to find ways to hear them perform, whether they're in workshops, whether they're in showcases, whether you get some friends together, and it's important to sort of hear them perform in front of an audience. It's amazing how much you learn that way, and I think writers need to write, and not just aspire, but actually do it.
Now, if you could choose one of your works, I know in your masterclass you mentioned you don't choose a favorite song because you heard Stephen Sondheim saying something from, I think, Pacific Overtures. And so as I asked this, I was like, wait a minute, you already said this.
I'm not going to answer it, don't you?
But which would you say was the most challenging or most fun to work on?
Okay, that is a different question. Well, I'll tell you something that was a lot of fun for me to work on, and I'm thinking of it now because we're just about to do a cast album of it. I really enjoyed working on Hunchback of Notre Dame, and particularly the character of Frollo, who I guess could be called the villain, but he's quite a complicated villain. It was really fun for me to be him. To become him in writing, because he's very complicated and very twisted. And it's fun to be able to go places in your writing, or I suppose in acting, that you wouldn't go in life.
Well, I think it's the most exciting when you go out of your own character to become someone else completely different, right?
Exactly.
Now, I have to ask you, what is coming up? I know, Wicked is still on Broadway, and you're always involved in filmmaking, so what's coming up for you? What's the next work?
Well, first of all, I do want to say it's been a long time coming, but we are now pretty close to being able to bring Wicked to Brazil.
Oh, great.
So I think we're a year or two away from that, but that's in the works now. So I'll be happy to get down there again when Wicked is there. Let's see, what else? I told you that we're about to do a cast album for Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm in the process of finishing the first act of a stage adaptation of Prince of Egypt. We're doing We're doing a reading of that in a couple of weeks. So those are the things most imminently on the horizon, and then I do have a couple of movie projects and a couple of theater projects that are a little further away.
Now, I'm such a big fan of your work, so I'm very curious about your creative process. What is your favorite part of the creative process? Because I know you write the music, a lot of times you write the lyrics. What for you is the most exciting thing about creating?
I like figuring out the puzzle of a show with my collaborators. One of the fun things about doing musical theater is you don't do it alone. You know, you work with collaborators, either co-writers or a director or a producer, and getting together with collaborators and figuring out how the show gets put together. It is like doing a big puzzle, and it's not always easy. Usually it's not easy, but I find that a lot of fun.
Now, is there a project that, I know Children of Eden became a very big thing for people in the industry, but it never made it to Broadway. Is there a song or a project that didn't make it to the bigger audience that you would think like, oh, I would still like to try to bring that again too?
Well, I mean, you mentioned Children of Eden, and it is a show that's very dear to my heart, and so I would love to see a really first-class production of Children of Eden, whether it was on Broadway or in London or in Sao Paulo. But yeah, I'm still waiting for the really first-class production of Children of Eden.
Well, we're waiting for that too, and we're looking forward to seeing all your new projects. And Wicked in Brazil, that's so exciting.
Yeah, we look forward to it.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you so much.